Want the reward? Do the damn work. Challenge yourself. Inspire change. Choice, not luck. Good afternoon, everybody. Todd Crandell from Ignite Euphoria podcast. I'm excited to have my friends and awesome producers, Timo and Ed, from the new movie, Pure Euphoria. We're welcoming them in right now. Well, I got to start this by saying, look, you know my buddy Dave Rude from Tesla, right? So I figured I'd wear his shirt. Hopefully, Dave, if you're watching, you're going to be on this thing. So, I got this. So I figured what better way to wear this shirt with my two buddies who did this awesome movie, Pure Euphoria, and we have some Tesla music in it. So we got that out of the way, right? Let's do this. Let's just talk about, I know we've done several interviews with film festivals and stuff about how this project came together, but we've never really done that with my stuff, with Racing for Recovery and now Ignite Euphoria. So how did this project come together that you guys awesomely did?
Well, I think I found your story, didn't I? And I followed you for a while and got very inspired of the stuff that you put out and this message that you spread to the world. And somehow we got in touch and we talked about making a documentary, and then it was all step by step. You were in it from the first second that once I mentioned it, you were, yes, let's do it. So, and that's how it all came to be.
And that was, so Timo, you and I were talking quite a while before we brought Ed in on this, right? We were going back and forth on LinkedIn and just making sure that, trying to get a concept together. And then, so let's talk about then, how did you bring Ed in, and then why did you bring Ed in?
Yeah, I just figured I needed a partner in this on the filmmaking side. I saw that this project is real. I saw that the story is, worth to be told. I absolutely wanted to make a film about you and tell your story and spread the message. So I needed someone who could help me, on the storytelling side. And Ed, he's such a great storyteller, and how he interviews people and how he makes people feel comfortable to share their story. And that's why I brought him in and thought he was a perfect fit for the film.
Okay, Ed, your turn. Yeah. Why did you come onto this?
I think, Todd, first of all, I was completely out of my comfort zone when Timo approached me about doing this project. It'd always been an ambition of mine to direct something. And Timo took a punt on me, thought, we'll wonder whether Ed is interested. And we got along. We both really like music and share the same interests in kind of sport and film. And so we were friends. But we didn't know each other that well, I have to say. This project has brought Timo and I together really closely too. And I was just really excited by Todd's story. I thought he was an interesting guy. I thought at that time, sobriety and that whole recovery area was something completely alien to me. I did not know much about it at all. Same with Iron Man. I wasn't an expert. I knew what it was. I thought it was brilliant. I'd seen it, but I wasn't engaged with that as a sport, really. My world is the Olympics and at the moment, and before that was football. And so, yeah, I was really, really drawn in. And I the first thing I did was I read Todd's book, which you'll be happy to hear, which I absolutely loved. And I was drawn in by the story. I loved Todd's kind of shoot from the hip attitude and how honest he was about the mental health issues that he suffered, and how that it's not a done deal. These things continue. It's not like you're fixed or something, it's a continual process. And I thought that was excellent. I shared those values too. And I was really excited to kind of put all of these things together in the mixing pot and try and make something really exciting happen.
So I want to We got to back up a minute. Where are you guys? Where are each of you guys? Ed, where are you?
I am literally in my mum and dad's like office room at the moment because I was living in Madrid, Spain, where we shot the movie, and but due to coronavirus, I'm back in the northwest of England for the foreseeable. So yeah, that's where I grew up in Liverpool, home of the Beatles and a wonderful football team. Come on, Liverpool.
Well, cheerio, mate. And Timo, where are you right now? So everybody knows where they're watching you from.
I'm in Hamburg, Germany, and yeah, this is where I live and where I kind of grew up. I grew up just outside of Hamburg in the countryside, but then moved to the city. Once I was finished with school. So I think that's another cool thing about the entire film and the project. That with Ed being in Spain, originally from the UK. You being from the USA, me being from Germany, and we have even more nations represented in the crew, which is, I think it's amazing because it all happened like we all, we worked online, sort of cloud-based, and that was also very interesting how that worked and how well that worked.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm very proud of, the fact of, and grateful for the technology, right? But and that's why I asked you guys this, I want people to understand, how big this is. It was a worldwide effort, and I think and I kind of want you guys to elaborate on this. It's a testament of what really Racing for Recovery and my own personal involvement in that, how that resonates with people just by reading a couple notes or watching a video, or maybe in Ed's case, reading the book, that people instantly were like, yes, let's do this. And I'm very I'm proud of that fact because the story, I guess, and the program sells itself. So I do want to do this too. I want you guys to each give let the viewers in on what you did before. I mean, you guys aren't just a couple of guys that picked up a camera and started doing this. You got some pretty powerful resumes. Let everybody know what it is that you guys were doing prior to this project.
Do you want to go first, Timo? Oh, there, go on. You go first, Timo, in this instance.
Yeah, so, well, I'm a cameraman and filmmaker, and I focus on sports, basically. I specialize in sport productions, and I started out in sport, and I've always, worked in sports projects, events, documentaries, stuff like that. And basically what I like to do is I like to tell the stories of athletes, because every athlete that is in whatever spotlight has an amazing story of how they got there. And I think that is also between Ed and I think that's our DNA, tell the stories of athletes.
Wow. Impressive.
He's also worked for some pretty impressive brands as well. He should clang a few names in there as well. So I'll do it on behalf of him, like Vodafone, BMW, like big top brands, especially in Europe. Timo is well respected in Germany. Is TV adverts, for Vodafone especially, are successful and on TV, importantly. So yeah, Timo's visual style is very much influenced by that commercial side of things, and not in a negative way. We wanted to make something with Todd that was kind of had this message, a pure message, not infiltrated by any brands, not trying to overtly sell you something, albeit the program itself is there, and I don't think anyone's ashamed of that. It's just that we wanted to put something out there with a pure message, and hence that pure Euphoria as a name. And to go back to my CV, I've always worked in sport as well, but from more of a journalistic point of view. I qualified as a journalist from City University in London. Moved down to there, and then I didn't even finish the course, Todd. Did you know this? And I just left. I got a job and left. So I
didn't know that.
Yeah, I was like, it was around the corner from where I was doing the actual degree. So it was meant to be a master's. It ended up being a diploma because I just like, they'll pay me money. So that was at Setanta Sports News. And then I worked for Sky Sports. I worked for the AP on their video side of things. I've been to the Olympic Games, the World Cup. I've been to some, I've seen the Dallas Cowboys play in London and been into the locker room. I've interviewed people like NBA champion Chris Bosh, Usain Bolt. You know, I've traveled the world, been super lucky in my career. And, you know, it's been exciting. And currently I'm the podcast host, hence my motor mouth, for the Olympic Channel podcast. Go and check it out.
That's awesome. And, you know, and I wanted you guys to, you know, give your resumes because, again, this is where my gratitude comes into this. You guys have done extensive knowledge with some amazing people and companies, and just to have you embrace this project and Racing for Recovery, it's, you know, I'm honored and thankful that you guys did that. So let's switch into, and this is where I want to talk about the creativity of the film. I remember, Ed, one of the things you said to me, or it might have been Timo or both of you, you said, we don't want to have a talking head. You know, that was one of the first things that really I knew I had made the right decision working with you guys. You wanted to do something that was completely different. And when you guys watch Pure Euphoria, you're going to see that it's just my voice. So how and why did you guys take that approach with creating this movie as opposed to doing basically whatever other movie is?
Yeah, I think for us, Timo, we really wanted it to be something different. And I think Todd's excitement in it being something different kind of fueled us. It's like a virtuous circle upwards, basically. We're like, how different can we go? And I think that that talking head is cool and it can look really, really good. I think in something like that Netflix college football, what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, that really cool one. They do wide talking heads and it looks cool. You know, I'm not knocking that style at all, but we just wanted to take something really a different approach and what could make us stand out. And we thought, well, you know, Todd's story is so incredible. Why don't we just record the audio and we can cut that up, like from a technical point of view, really easily and have that underneath some picture that was super, super, super compelling. And let's try and, like, as a discipline, like, we know his story is amazing. We know that he will speak emotionally. Why don't we try and get that emotion through by taking one of the most important things, the thing that they tell you to do in film school is like get that tear, get that emotion on screen. And we thought, well, this is super emotional. So do we need it? Well, maybe not. So let's then play with that and, you know, make it a journey into that person's mind. So it felt more ethereal, felt different. It felt like you were in someone's head. And anyway, I after we completely finished the movie, you know, and I'd had my doubts about it, you know, like I even had a call, Timo will remember, called him up and was like, I think we made a mistake. We should have bloody well filmed it. Should have filmed Todd. And Timo was like, no, we have to stick. So thanks to him for putting up with one of my meltdowns. But Steven Gerrard, the legendary captain of Liverpool Football Club, his documentary, which I hadn't seen, hand on heart, that's on Amazon Prime, it doesn't have a talking head in it. It's true. And awesome. So, you know, I think it's a cool style at the moment. And I think it's in vogue. And yeah, it was definitely a big decision. It wasn't something we took on lightly. And I don't know, Timo, is there anything I missed there for anyone?
No. I think the main idea and the difference that it makes if you use a talking head or you don't use a talking head is we wanted to inspire people, right? We wanted to people to listen to Todd's stories and see that they can do the same. They can overcome their obstacles. And I think if you look at someone and, how he tells his story, there's still a bit of a difference. It's like, yeah, it's an inspirational person telling me an inspirational story, but it's his story, it's not mine. And I think leaving out the talking head, the intention was to, transport the raw emotion and bring people closer to the emotion that Todd went through, and that it basically takes to overcome.
That's good. So let's talk about too. And Timo, as you were talking right there, I keep thinking of when I first met you was during the marathon of Ironman France a couple of days before we started shooting the film for Pure Euphoria. But explain a little bit about like why you guys picked that location. Timo, you came up, like I said, you met me in Nice, France with my daughter Madison and Skylar and stuff. How did all that come to fruition? Why the location? Why did you meet me in Nice first? And let's start putting this thing together where it finally started to become a film.
Yeah, I think so. Well, basically, even when we all agreed, let's make this film, there was still, you were in the USA, we were here, I was in Germany, Ed was in Madrid. So they were all, we were all spread out. So where do we come together and, how do we make this happen? Are we coming over to the US and film it there, or are you coming over to Europe? And then I think I saw you posting about Ironman Nice in 2018 probably. I saw you posted about that you signed up for it. And then I thought, oh, hang on, he's coming to Europe. So we need to go all in now. He's not going to be this close again soon.
Right.
So, and then Ed and I thought about where shall we shoot this? And there were different, many options. Germany was one option, UK was another option, but they were not very stable weather-wise, and you would only have like 5-6 days after your Ironman. And so Ed came up with the idea to basically film it in Madrid. And then we did a weekend of location scouting in Madrid, and we had all these ideas that we wanted, locations to look surreal, and we wanted the running location to look like, like you're running on the moon. That's what we always said. And then Ed had like some locations, and we sort of, followed some Google Map links that he had basically worked out, and they were all so perfect. It's like, that running location does look like running on the moon, basically.
It's so what you like about that film. That definitely, we did that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the location is beautiful. We're gonna have to get some pictures during the podcast here to illustrate what we're talking about, because it was. I'd never seen anything like it before. So good on you, Ed, for finding that location. Why did you choose that particular spot for this?
Well, actually, it's a good story. The very first time I spoke to you, Todd, I'd actually been doing a podcast, a really interesting podcast with a rhythmic gymnast that day, and it was super stressful. And then I spoke to you, which was great, and I really got on, and we had a really intense but like great conversation with Timo. And then I went on holiday with my friends to the mountains, to the Sierra, and we went that weekend to the beach where, we shot Pure Euphoria. I met the guys that crashed the boat when we were filming. That weekend, that very first weekend, serendipitously, I went and had a great old time. It was absolutely fantastic. I really like open water swimming, and I'm like so hard into just going into places that are just like cool open water places, basically, and not races like you guys. I just like being, in those open water spaces, and I always have done. And so, I was on Instagram basically, and I would just look for places that look cool to swim, that people had put, little pins in or whatever, and that's how I found it. And then it kind of all spiraled out of just my kind of obsession with finding cool spots to go while swimming.
And I haven't said this to you guys, but I do want to bring this up because I'm thinking about it right now. So like I said, I met Timo. Yeah, God, I'll never forget that, buddy. I'm running, I don't know what it was, 15 miles into the marathon or whatever, and there comes Timo standing on the side of the road. I'm like, hey, dude, what's up? I got another 6 and I'll see you at the end, and then we drove, 14 hours from Nice, France,
Yes.
down to Madrid, and then boom, right into this filming. And I remember the first day that we were filming was the swim stuff. And I'm looking at my watch and I'm like, I'm over five miles of swimming for these guys, right? Like, when are they going to get the shot with this thing?
You just kept saying you were fine. Well, we was like, until he says that he's tired, then
right?
I think, a bit of testosterone in that.
That was funny, right?
Yeah.
So let's so we shoot the project. I mean, if there's anything specific you want to talk about, like what you felt during the making of it. I mean, I always go back to the keep going thing, which that resonates with everybody who sees that. It's keep going, and they use it throughout their time here at Racing for Recovery. If you guys want to briefly talk about like why you made it the way you made it, the verbiage, the shots or whatever. I mean, I think people would be really interested in hearing that, especially the keep going thing.
Yeah, I'll give you the credit for keep going, Ed. You came up with that. And even I was like, what is he doing? I remember when we were doing the interviews, like, Todd, can you say keep going for like 20 times? And you said, what? You want me to say it 20? You want me to say it 20 times? Yeah. And I was like, what is he doing? I had no idea that this was going to be the end of the film, but Ed knew it all before.
Right.
It was kind of hard to explain, though. I think that it was one of those things that I just felt would be a great moment. It's hard sometimes in a creative post, and I think Timo is really patient, and you are as well, Todd, with kind of like, okay, well, let's just give it a go. And I think Todd really understood that there were going to be 2 processes that we were going to do the interview. One was going to feel nice and was going to be a bit more like conversational, and how Todd operates, like, loose and fun and emotional and raw and honest and powerful and inspirational, all of these things that we can get excited about. And then there were going to be 2 other parts. One was where I was basically just coaching you to say some things that we needed technically in order to plug the things in. And I could see it was hard work. That was a tough session in the interview process because you were worried, I think, about the authenticity, but we got there. And then there was like a mixture of those 2 things. So like a little bit of, we needed a little bit more, just like fill in the gaps, and like some more inspirational stuff to fill in the gaps, and then some more tech stuff. And that was the 3rd and last session. And I think that's where we did the keep going stuff.
Yep,
right?
we did.
I think right at the end. And at first Todd was like, keep going. And I was like, no, it's can't be like that. And if I'm put hand on heart, I didn't think we got it. I didn't quite think we nailed it at the time. And then when I went back and listened to it, it was fine. And so we didn't need to stretch. I was thinking maybe we could do it in the morning, like if we really need it, Todd will do it. I know he will, and but we didn't, and so that was cool. And that bit was important. But I think really it's the faith that people show in other people's ideas. I think in another film, people wouldn't have that trust, and there was no real. We're not buddies, all 3 of us. We didn't grow up in high school, or this is something where this project is what we've all come together to do. And I think the trust that's been allowed in this project is really special. And I think, both of you guys, but especially Timo, for having the faith in that particular idea and seeing it through.
Well, I must say, I've been the subject of, a couple movies and some interviews and stuff, and I always look at it as, that's not I'm here to do whatever the person wants me to do to get the best out of the project. So for me, it's like, I just do as I'm told, and then sit back and wait for you guys to turn it into something. I mean, we talk about empathy, humility, and gratitude around here. I'm grateful for just being in the opportunity to have something like that, take place. And I'm humble enough to not try and be a film director when I can't even direct myself most of the times. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I enjoy the process of it, and it's, when your guys are asking me to do something, I start thinking, well, where's this going to go? And, long story short, I think it's a remarkable thing. So let's start talking about what in the heck are we doing with this thing, right? People ask me that all the time. When can I see the whole thing? And the whole virus thing is hit, obviously, but, we've had it in some film festivals. We've won some awards. Tell everybody like what the process is and what the plans are with this film and when possibly it can be released for the public to view the whole thing.
Yeah, I think just the general process, if you make a documentary and you want to submit it to film festivals, you basically have to keep it undercover for let's say the public. You can't put it like on the internet for free because film festivals don't like that, and rightly so. They want exclusive, they want exclusive content, and that's why we had to keep the film,
under wraps, basically.
Under wraps, basically, yeah, and just submit it to film festivals for an entire year, which was very, painful. We kind of knew it, but we hadn't thought that through really. And but that's finished now. So once this podcast is released, we should have a link under this YouTube video that, will have the film basically.
Awesome. I didn't even really. Okay. I'm glad I asked that question. I had no idea.
We thought we'd drop the bomb.
Fantastic. All right.
We're in talks with a few different things, so hopefully one of those things will come off. If it doesn't, there'll still be a link. People won't know either way. The link will still be the link, but hopefully,
absolutely,
we're going to partner up with somebody to see whether. And we need to get in touch with Iron Man and let them know, because we want to get at the race. We want to put some screens.
We have. Triathlete Magazine, well, at best by the time this thing airs, I think we're going to run the podcast either the day before or somewhere near it, because Triathlete Magazine has something coming out on Racing for Recovery for January 12th that then we're going to coincide it with this podcast. And then, I'm going to be doing Hawaii next October again. And I want you guys to come out and we'll do some sort of film thing or whatever. So that'll be more of the marketing stuff that we'll get going on this, because I want people to see it. It's only 15 minutes long and it packs a punch. You guys did an absolutely amazing thing with this, and I'm excited that now we can get that out there and start getting a message to people and have it resonate with them. That's good stuff. Were you guys holding that for a surprise to tell me today, or what?
You caught us, Todd. We thought you'd be happy.
Yeah, that's awesome. God, it's, you're talking almost, 3 years then since we started talking on this before it's come out. Wow. It's
a slow process, isn't it? Filmmaking it's a slow business.
There's no question that we got caught in the coronavirus like everybody else, the plan was certainly to meet up and be at one of these film festivals all together, and certainly that last one that we were just nominated for over Christmas and in the selection for looked really great. And Overcome Film Festival, we won.
Yeah.
We won Best International Short, and at the New Jersey Recovery Film Festival as well, we got Best Cinematography from the entire festival, which is crazy, And so we received, I think, 7 selections in total from film festivals across 3 continents.
Wow.
So, and we're still in a mix for a couple of biggies. So, I'm in fact we were mentioned today at the AIPS Awards, which is a global journalism awards in the Europe section. So I'll send you a link to that, Todd.
Yeah.
So, we're still hopeful of something really big happening with the film in regards to the film festivals. But even if that doesn't happen, I agree. I think it's time to just get it out there. And our intention never was to have this film secretly in some corner of the internet or whatever. It's there to try and capture people's imaginations and hopefully get them to go outside and get them to wrestle with a few things that they didn't think they wanted to, or get someone else to watch the movie, maybe for them to wrestle with their things. And yeah, that's our intention anyway. And I can't wait. It really makes my heart sing whenever you say we've had a screening at Racing for Recovery, and that is tempered by the fact it's like, God damn, I wish that we'd had a chance to be all together and show this thing to in a real setting.
Well, let's keep some positive thoughts because, like Timo, you and I discussed, I'm racing in Italy and in May, and we can rendezvous over there, and then Russia again later in the summer. And then, hey, like I said, the invitation's there for you guys to come out to Kona this year. The condo's already booked. We're good to go, so, we're stoked, so it'll be great. And I'm, like I said, I appreciate you guys coming on today and everything you've done with this. And now that we have the news that it's going to be out there, I'll start marketing the heck out of it, as you guys know.
Yes.
Indeed.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and we'll be in touch. All right, boys?
No worries. Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Thank you very much.
I just want to say thank you, Todd, as well. Like, you didn't have to be so involved in this project, and we really appreciate everything that you've done. And I just also want to say that, I understand, I think a little bit about how difficult it is to be you in some ways now, from doing this project. It's not all, you have all of this energy. And I think, we saw there's two sides for that, for that fire, the fire can catch fire, and that's not always, it's not always got a positive outcome on it. And I think working so close with you, we understand that. And so, we really support what you're doing with Racing for Recovery. We think it's amazing. And, you inspire people, and, good luck to you, Todd Crandell. We think you're great.
I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ignite Euphoria. Let us know how you feel about watching Pure Euphoria. And until next time, take it easy, and we'll see you soon. Bye.